What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bet the Over podcast. Things are looking a little different today.
Threesome.
Also that.
Yeah.
We got your host, Kev, in the building. Steve, been here for a while. And second episode for our guy Woods here.
Yep.
I'm
New
back.
co-host.
He must have done pretty good because we rearranged the setup and everything like that.
New
Shout out
co-host.
Nick behind the camera.
New
He's been
cameraman.
cooking today. We have a new cameraman every single episode, but we're trying to get one set in stone,
Yeah.
aren't we? But anyway, welcome back, guys. Like we
Episode
said,
10.
Yep, things are looking a little different today.
We're
I
a
think,
decade.
yeah,
We're a decade in.
yeah.
And
One episode
everyone-
a year is tough.
Everyone move and admire.
One episode.
I updated this before you guys got here. 31 days. What is that?
Really?
What is that? 7,
Wait,
14, 28.
Is that from Jets or is that from
No, that's from
first game?
Thursday. That's
Okay.
from Thursday Night Football. Chiefs,
What's that,
Chiefs,
Chiefs?
Ravens.
Raiders?
Ravens.
That's a good game.
Imagine.
Don't kick it off with Chiefs
that's,
Raiders,
That's
guys.
inter-division, so.
Yep.
Oh wait, it is It's Raiders or Raiders?
It's Ravens.
Oh,
But-
okay, that's even
but like,
better.
it's better.
no, it's
I
gonna
thought
be
you
a good
said
game.
But the Raiders wouldn't be
That's what I
like
thought. It's a good
absurd
game.
because it's
And the Raiders beat the Chiefs actually, I think.
yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce.
Twice, right?
I don't know about twice.
Oh.
We had a football game this week, everybody.
First one of the year. We're
It's a big deal.
officially
That
in
shit
full
felt
swing.
good, man. That shit felt good. Even though we had the Tyson Bagent playing or whatever.
And
his
also it
name
was
is.
like 3 quarters because it got canceled.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they got
really?
rain delay. Yeah.
That's crazy.
New York Giants legend Colin Johnson caught a touchdown.
Bro,
There we
he
go.
did really
There we
well.
go. That's what you like to see.
No, he wasn't bad on
Yeah.
the Giants, but
I don't know. I hate that. Like, I feel like rookie quarterback should.
More
play
importantly, we
during-
have a Jets game this week.
Oh my god, we do.
we have a Giants
Saturday.
week too.
Yeah, yeah.
Giants is I think Thursday.
That's
they
the
play the
Lions,
Lions,
right?
yeah.
That's why they're against
Preseason
Yeah.
in full swing.
We
Who do
have
the Jets
some
play?
we have some Lions news today, honestly.
Oh,
Jets play Washington.
that's exciting.
In a
Yeah.
couple weeks, we'll have
commies.
that rivalry match, the Jets and the Giants. One of these flags is probably going to come down while we're watching that.
No way.
Is
When
They're
it
gonna come back and the Giants flag's gonna be like singed.
do we think Rogers plays? And
No.
Nah, I
Well,
don't think-
actually, they don't know yet, but
I don't
doubt
think
it.
any of the
I doubt
starters
it.
play.
At
No.
this point, that's why I think it's ridiculous.
We're
Like, play
also-
one preseason game and
Yeah.
Get it over.
Nah, yeah.
Or two. You're like again, like you're
I'd say
just you're
two.
just letting
Yeah,
you're
two's
letting
fine.
you're letting the guys that want a chance to just get
I
their
agree.
shot.
Yeah,
so it's
probably
like
you're right. Two is
yeah.
enough. Start it a week
three,
earlier.
the thing is like 2 is good to get them their shot and like let them play a little bit, and you can like balance it out and have different guys in each game and stuff
Yeah.
like that to try out like a bunch of
I feel
different
like it's
guys.
just like teasing us.
yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying.
It's a
three
tease.
is
Yeah,
too
The
much.
preseason's just
It's
a
three is
tease.
Messed
too
up.
much, dude. They should do like the they should have like the Pro Bowl games. Like I don't want to say early because you don't know anything yet. It should be like mid-season.
I mean,
Actually,
what, you could do
but-
the Pro Bowl before.
yeah, like you do like something cool. They should add something cool. You
The
know
Pro
what I
Bowl's
mean?
a whole different beast of boring.
Or like
and
all
no
the
one cares.
NFL players should like draft a fantasy team or something like that. Like they should like do that live.
Yeah,
kinda sick.
that'd
That's
be
true.
that'd be weak.
Like each team make their own fantasy team. or
Yeah, but I
something
don't know
like
if they're
that.
actually they are allowed to do it, right? I think they're allowed. to play
If
fantasy
it's
football.
not for money,
As
they're
long as
allowed
it's
to
not
do
for
it.
money.
Yeah.
Calvin
So-
Ridley, though,
Yeah, well,
he's going all in.
Yeah.
Don't put it on DraftKings.
Bro,
$1,000
bro
lead.
needed that $2,500.
He needed the 2,500. But let's just do. Did we even do like an overview of what we're doing today? So we're gonna do.
yeah.
We're gonna do talk about baseball.
Yeah, quick.
We got our baseball guy over here.
me.
We might bring up some Olympics. We're gonna bring up that last. What was it?
The
100
race, the
meter?
100
Was it the
meter,
100
yeah.
meter? Yeah, that was crazy. And then we'll get into it's fantasy season.
Mhm.
When I go through my YouTube feed, it's literally just
Oh,
like
yeah.
fantasy
I've
video.
subscribed
Go
to
over
like
to
10
fantasy
YouTube
video.
channels.
Fantasy video.
I got a lot
It's-
of Dynasty YouTube channels. I
Officially
follow,
in
too.
full swing because I had my first draft yesterday. Little early, but we'll break that down.
We're
in a
gonna
little
break
bit.
Yeah, your
Steve's
whole
draft
team's
down.
gonna get
I
hurt.
had
Yep.
a
Yep.
loaded draft. I had a crazy draft.
Steve would text me. He's like, yo, what should I
How
do
many
here?
teams was it? 10?
Don't want to call him out. No.
Was it-
He
was
did.
it
He definitely
10
blessed me
teams?
with some ideas. It was 10
Oh,
teams.
okay,
Yeah,
that's-
10 teams.
that makes it
10-man league.
easier.
PPR.
10 teams always makes the teams look so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, facts.
Yeah, the 12 man, bro. You're drafting like
Yeah.
fourth stringers, and,
It's just
you're
more
just
fun
like,
that
bro.
way, you
You ever see the videos of people in like 32-man leagues?
It's crazy.
And it's literally like, yo, I got the third string quarterback in the fourth round.
They're,
Like
yeah,
the Bears.
they're like they're like 32 team like dynasty like money like it'll be like you have to use like bidding to like get players. It's crazy.
That's
dude, it's
insane.
insane. I want.
Stuff runs deep.
Yeah. So first, let's go into baseball though. We got our baseball guy. You want to give us an update on the trade deadline?
Yeah. So the deadline was what, the first, 31st? I don't know, but it was actually more exciting than it has been in a couple years. Some big things. Jack Flaherty went to the Dodgers. I think he threw like 6 scoreless or 1 earned the other day. So
In his
he's
first
already-
outing?
Yeah. Like, so I guess, I mean, it's funny because like 3 years ago, Flaherty was like an ace. And then like the last 2 years, he's been like really bad. And so I guess he's back. He's had a great year all year, and the Dodgers are the Dodgers. So, and then the Marlins reset their whole farm system. I'm pretty sure if you look at their farm system on like Pipeline or one of those websites, it's like 8 or 9 of the top 15 guys now are guys they got at the deadline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they traded literally everyone on their team. Like the Jazz. I mean, Jazz. Hey, that's looked good for the Yankees.
Yeah,
so,
Jazz has been killing it.
Jazz has looked really good already. Few other things, I guess. Paul Blackburn to the Mets. He looked really great in his first start. Just speaking about the Mets, obviously. Jorge Soler back to the Braves.
Oh yeah, I
You
saw
remember
that. Isn't Soler like? Oh wait, no. Who's really bad? Someone I forgot the guy's name, but
What, they got traded this deadline?
yeah, is Soler good or no?
Yeah, Soler's been. He just signed a big-ish. I think he signed like a 3 or 4 year deal with San Francisco, but they're just like eating the money to go back to the Braves. But Soler and Jock Peterson were the two that got traded to the Braves like in 2021 when they won the World Series. So like it's kind of fun to like. I guess they're trying to rekindle the magic that he was the World Series MVP.
They were like, "Yo, run it back."
I'm pretty sure he won the MVP. And then I guess
I think it's Javier Baez. Is he bad?
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Okay, that's who I'm
yeah,
thinking of.
he's pretty trash.
Because he used to be good, no?
Yeah, he was really good. Then he got traded to the Mets.
He was on Chicago, right?
Yeah, he got traded to the Mets. He was fine, and then he signed like a $100 million deal with Detroit. And now he's been trash. But yeah, so pretty much that. I think that's it for major deadline moves. I'm sure there's one or two.
Yeah, there's a couple that you're probably forgiving, but let's forget about. But let's talk about both our teams.
Yeah,
Steve's kind of on the outside on this one, but we're gonna break down his draft in a little bit. He's gonna get lit.
Do you want to do your team first?
Yeah,
you can go first.
I mean, the Yankees are like, we're back. It's the Cam Newton meme all over again.
Back.
It always comes back to the podcast.
They swept the Phillies, right?
They swept the Phillies.
I mean, the Phillies are tanking, but it's still a big thing.
They beat the Blue Jays, I think, 2 out of 3 games.
They're 7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah,
so
7-3. They're starting to turn up
really bad.
Honestly, the people that have really been turning up, obviously Soto. Judge has been amazing. He has I think he's tied the most first-round home runs.
It's crazy.
With like Babe Ruth for the Yankees. And then who's been picking it up really, surprisingly, is Volpe.
And DJ LeMahieu.
And DJ, he's finally picking it up.
DJ LeMahieu was trash.
But Volpe, literally, his season is so crazy because it was literally like he started out so hot. Then, like, the last month, he was literally, his average was like almost 300. It went down to like 230, and now it's back up to like 260.
I feel like the thing with those kind of things is he's also so young.
Yeah,
and like it's like
really
kind of forgotten how like young he is. I'm pretty sure he's like younger than us. Like,
yeah, he's
only like 22, 23.
I think last year was his first year on the Yankees.
So like, it makes sense he's gonna have those moments. Like, it's not crazy. I mean, I'm just looking at it now. Judge has 41 home runs. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the craziest part is Judge started out bad.
I know.
His first month of the season, Judge was like, I was like, bro, Judge looks really bad.
He just only hits dingers.
And then, but the lineup's been kind of weird. Like, I'll pull it up right now. I mean, I don't have the exact lineup, but I know yesterday they had Jazz Chisholm and then Volpe back to back.
You know what happened too? He had to bench Glaber the other day too.
Oh yeah, because Glaber wouldn't run for his double. He thought it was a home run.
He
liked that
run a single.
But Volpe and Chisholm, I don't know if I really like that back to back because they're both obviously speedsters. So I guess if they get on base, it's good. But like, I kind of would want the speed to be like separated.
It's also hard because like, you do have like obviously 2 giant home run hitters and like power hitters. I mean, Soto not as much, so he's just a great at everything.
Yeah,
but, like, I mean, Judge is.
Are you saying Judge and Stanton?
Yeah, like Judge. I'm saying like in terms of like you want to split up Judge and Soto, but then like you don't want to split them up too much, and then you kind of get in that middle ground of like where do you put your like contact guy? I mean, Jazz hits home runs too, but still like it's not the same.
Yeah, they have Soto and then Judge usually back to back, which is like I mean it's good because Soto gets on base, and then Judge hits a nuke, so it's like all right that works, but. I don't know. You might want to spread the team out a little bit.
But they've been pretty good. I guess the other big baseball thing is Trout's out for the rest of the year again.
Oh yeah, Trout. What was it? A meniscus?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was crazy. A meniscus.
I feel so bad. He's literally a stud. Like he is the best baseball player besides I guess now Shohei. Like he's been alive since I think I've been alive, and he just hasn't played a full season in like 5.
Who, Trout? Yeah, Trout wasted his career staying on the Angels.
Yeah, that too.
I get that he's loyal and that like I respect that obviously a ton, but the Angels didn't do him any solids.
They're horrible. And they don't do anything at deadlines. Like they left guys who are like expiring just to keep them for like no reason. They're just bad.
Yeah.
But I just feel bad for him as in this sense, like a human level, like poor guy.
I know. Dude, like Trout has been in the conversation. Like I've heard people say he's the GOAT.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like he's in that conversation.
Yeah,
he's that good.
He was one of the best baseball players.
I'd say he's at least all time top 10.
Probably.
You can give him top 10.
I can't say I know enough to like make those claims. But yeah, like I think just from what I know and more modern baseball, probably yeah.
Oh yeah, modern baseball. He was like the face of the MLB for a while.
He's the best player by far.
And like the thing
then
about
there's just a superhuman that doesn't count.
Yeah, who Judge?
No, so Shohei.
Oh, Shohei.
But yes, actually,
Shohei's different
but Shohei
too.
doesn't even count.
Yeah, Judge is different too because he's like 6'7" or whatever.
Like those are aliens. But like Trout looks like a normal dude.
Trout was like crazy too because like he had everything in his game. Like he could hit home runs, he could hit the doubles. His fielding was good, and then also he was fast.
Yeah, he's just a good dude.
And he had a great arm, and he was really nice. Like I love Trout.
He's so likable. It sucks.
I feel like he should just do the veteran move and just like leave the Angels and just go to like a powerhouse.
I think he signed for like 9 years.
I know he signed a giant contract.
Who's gonna sign like trade for a guy who plays like 50 games a year? Like he's kind of stuck.
A team should pick him up that's like in position to win.
I'm worried he's gonna like retire.
That's like I mean it's getting to the point.
Like you played like 250 games in like 5 years.
But you want to talk about the Mets real quick?
Yeah.
How do you
Speaking of the Angels, they just lost the series to the Angels. Not great, but they beat the Cardinals today. 6-0.
Okay.
Sean Manaea, as soon as I drop him in fantasy baseball, becomes the best player, not the best pitcher, and
he picks it up
just every time. But yeah, the Mets have been pretty good. Still steady enough to where like if they play how they need to keep playing, they'll win. I mean, they'll probably make the playoffs.
Mets Yankees World Series.
Not entirely worried about it.
Claim it here.
Where do you look jersey?
It's a France
jersey.
Oh shit! I
yeah.
thought it was a Rangers jersey.
No.
And so now we'll go.
Yeah, well, Steve, welcome back.
Yeah, I feel bad for
I'm
Steve.
reading about this fair catch kick rule. Apparently, it's
we could talk about the new kickoff.
That's good. New kick rule.
We'll talk about that with the football section.
Rule, apparently.
He doesn't like it.
I don't hate it. It's just visually weird to look at because you're so like
you're used to the old kickoffs.
Yeah, like imagine like they just like moved the pitching mound like to the left a little bit, and you were just like, oh, look, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but after like one full season,
I think can only be attempted when a team is down now. There's some other. What else is with the onside? You have to make the other team aware of the onside kick. You have to call it out.
Yeah, but that's like silly because that's like part of the fun.
It is part of the fun.
Yeah, like you can.
I mean, I don't know that rule.
But this is interesting. This fair catch kick rule. Apparently, it's possible that with the right circumstances, you can after fair catch, you can attempt a free free field goal from that spot.
I have no idea.
So yeah, I guess you can punt it.
I honestly got to look into the rule.
If it goes, it's the rarest NFL or the rarest football play.
Oh, is it a drop kick?
No, like yeah, I guess you can catch
it. That's a thing in football. You're gonna
the last time this happened, it looks like it was in 1921. So Curly Lambeau.
Isn't the whole
remember him?
Yo, he was just slept on,
isn't
bro.
The whole point of
like a legend.
Isn't the whole point of it like reducing injuries?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Like the whole point is that like he got hurt. Or people get hurt running down the field. Like,
yeah. Well, if you think about it, they're both sprinting.
Those are the most intense collisions.
Basically like a car accident.
Yeah. The amount of like pounds,
so that's
PPI.
Why, I don't see it being different.
Well, it's just not worth it. I kind of agree with that. I don't think it's worth it for guys to be getting hurt on kickoffs, dude.
Yeah, especially, and it's always like, it's not like it's anyone that's like, this is going to sound messed up, but it's like, it's not like ever like a star player, because it's, unless they're the kick returner, like all of the people that are do special teams are like the fourth string, whatever.
Yeah, like
where you put
Barrios. Yeah, it's like wide receiver. Or like,
it's like your fifth receiver or like your fourth.
Barrios is a legend, man. He's made a name for himself.
Steve loves him.
He's a
good. He have like his girlfriend like a podcast or something.
Yeah, his girlfriend's a social media famous.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of reports. A lot of people are saying with the new kickoff rule, there's going to be a lot of kick returns. Like people are just speculating because I guess
that's why the Jets.
It's like if you get past the first wave, you're good.
That's why the Jets signed Tariq Cohen. Like they were like, I mean, he retired again.
Yeah, but it might be better to leave guys back then. It might be better to leave guys back.
I know. There's going to be a whole other strategy to it.
You have to line up, but you can still pull back.
Oh, you mean like after you you go forward, like just in theory, just stop. Yeah.
I'm assuming they're practicing. You know,
I'm sure there's like a ton of things people are trying. Yeah, that you just wouldn't even think about.
So
a couple Giants things going on, right?
Yeah, you want to get
a couple? I have a couple different.
Yeah, do the Giants. I mean,
we'll get into the Giants
happened today.
The big thing happened today. I saw a report. It's like a giant fight broke out. The practice didn't last literally apparently less than 30 minutes into the practice or an hour in, there was a giant fight.
No pun intended there.
You know who? Yeah, literally. You know who went into the middle of the pile and defended his guys? Danny Dimes, baby.
Just as you expect.
Red shirted, not supposed to get touched. Ran into the pile and dude, he went after someone. Like he didn't just like kind of push. He like went into the pile and literally like pushed someone.
And that's a big deal. Like
that's my
very
quarterback.
Very easily, like if you're the quarterback, you can kind of just be like, all right,
Yeah, like
And,
you guys go.
Like, I mean, it might be for show, like, but like you could tell, like, there's guys like people came out like defended him and everything. Like they've said like that's a really big deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like if your quarterback's willing to go in there and fight for you, like that probably means something to you on like Sunday when you're
On another note, though, man, and I think Brian Burns made a good point here from New Jersey Advanced Media. He quoted that Burns said, "I'm going to need him to back up and let his O-line handle that."
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, you're in training camp, man.
I know,
like,
that's
you gotta.
I think, but I
especially
think
with
that
Daniel Jones' injury history, bro.
I think it's
Cable's
also
on the
that
sideline, like someone hit him.
I think
Get him out.
retire, injury retired.
They want Drew Lock in there.
Yo, you saw Dable lost a bunch of weight too.
Dude, everyone's like Ozempic goes crazy.
Yeah.
All the people after Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Is
No,
that
he looks
Drew
good,
Lock
man.
thing like a real thing?
What?
Like that, like in theory he could start.
I mean, like,
I mean, unless Daniel Jones blows up.
Same situation.
He could
It's the
start.
same situation with like the Raiders, bro. Like that quarterback battle is probably going to go into the preseason. Aiden O'Connell. And
I think
Minshew.
that one's a little more serious.
I don't think.
Well, I think Minshew's going to win that one.
I don't think I don't think Locke is coming in unless the Giants are really
unless he's
really
trash,
bad.
unless he's really just blowing up.
Dude, like the thing about Daniel Jones is like I know he hasn't played that well, but like he usually keeps you in the game. Like when he's playing a game, he'll keep you in. Like his biggest problem is honestly like his accuracy is good. Actually,
It's fumbles.
It's his fumbles and it's also his decision making. Like he makes shitty decisions.
Yeah,
his deep balls actually a couple of years ago he was ranked in the top.
And you can also make the case that like. Who knows what he's like when he has a real receiver?
When he has a real receiver,
that's always been the hardest thing.
A decent, he doesn't even need a good offensive line. He needs a decent. He hasn't even had a decent offensive line. Like I went through the. Sorry, I'm cutting you guys off.
No, you're good.
But I went through the Giants' offensive line the past 5 seasons. It was like 28th, 29th, 32nd, and then it was like 2 years ago. It was actually decent. It was like 18th, 20th.
We're probably right below.
And then last year it was literally 32nd,
33rd.
Yeah.
34th.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Worst offensive line.
But what's it called?
Yeah,
you're right. And like you can then make the case that like even if Neighbors, I mean, he's looked great, but even if he's like fine, like, that's a big deal, and he just stays on the field.
And then if you run Daniel Jones like a little less too, like I know he's good, man, but you gotta like, bro, he's getting injury. He got injured like twice.
He
got injured,
last
came
year
back, and then got injured again for the rest of the season last year.
No,
and that's not to say that it's just because he runs the ball.
It was
like
early.
It's fine, but
No,
like,
he
take it easy on him.
He's honestly injury prone. That's another big problem. Like when he plays, he's decent, but it's like he gets hurt a lot. It's always a neck injury. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
He hurts his neck.
I feel like those are kind of recurring things too. Like once you hurt your
It's
neck,
all about how
it's
you
like
fall
the back
down, though,
sort
man.
of too.
Yeah,
Right?
you fall down.
I don't know. Like I actually think people will be pleasantly surprised, unless you don't like the Giants. But if you're a Giants fan, like I'll be surprised if he isn't pretty good this year.
I think,
like, it's also what are your expectations of him?
yeah, like
if you're expecting a top 10 quarterback, then you're probably being unrealistic.
I'd say realistically, like I can see him finishing if he plays the whole season. I could see him being rated according to PFF like 20th best.
I would if you told me he was 12 to 16, I'd believe you too. Like I have no problem. Like I really don't think he's that bad.
I don't think he's
like he's not. If you told me the reason the Giants missed the playoff, like I guess you could say it, but like I don't think I would put him as the reason they missed the playoffs.
No, yeah.
I just think the division's hard too. Like
the division's difficult, and bro, it's honestly it comes down to the offensive line. Really, the Giants had the most given up sacks last year.
If Neighbors is good and the offensive line is good, they should win 8 games at least.
I don't even want the offensive line to be good. I want them to be average.
Yeah, fine.
If you can be okay, like you don't even have to be good. Just be like 20th, be 20th ranked.
Is that
23rd,
thing of
25th?
The NFC East first team winning a different team every year? It's like no one's won it back-to-back years still intact?
I think so, yeah, because the Eagles won it 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. I think Dallas won it last
so it's
year.
Still intact. So
I think it's still intact.
So it's probably if it keeps going, it's the Eagles or the Giants.
Eagles, Giants, or Washington.
There we go.
I don't know.
Hey,
Washington,
dude, they could be good.
You could never know. You never know with a rookie quarterback.
Rookie quarterback, it's always a thought. I wasn't a Jaden Daniels guy, but what do I know?
Jaden Daniels, I don't know. I've heard he's like iffy with accuracy in the middle of the field, but he's like he gets shot out of cannon.
Yeah, he's a super athlete.
He's like
I feel like I read something about him looking good too, which is interesting.
He kind of reminds me of like Marcus Mariota in a sense. You know,
he's
like him coming
faster,
out of
I think,
coming out of college because he's like so quick. And I feel like he's not that tall, but I don't know. It could have just been his number one wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, making him look good.
It's also that weird thing of like quarterbacks now, like they just draft them on traits. Like literally Josh Allen happened and now every team just goes, oh wait, he's fast and big.
Yeah
and throws the ball hard. We can fix it.
I know.
Like I mean I guess the opposite of that is then JJ McCarthy, where you're just like, God, he just They won.
He was pretty good. Yeah. No, quarterbacks are so polarizing.
Yeah.
And then, like, even last year, like, you know who got drafted off traits? Anthony Richardson.
Yep, and he looked pretty good. But also,
he looked pretty good.
Who knows?
But he played 4 games.
That's what I'm saying.
And Colts fans are like, he's the best, bro. He's the best ever. And I'm like,
funny.
4 games?
People are like bugging out. And I'm like, I have no idea how good this guy is.
In my draft last night, Richardson, like 5th round, 4th round, I think he got picked up.
But that makes sense because he
he's a
just
freak
runs.
of nature.
He runs a lot.
I was texting,
Like, there's not much to go off of, though, man.
Yeah, you don't have a
Take him in
large
the-
sample
You're
size.
really
could
betting
probably-
on.
You don't take him in the 4th or the 5th round this year. You probably still get him in 7th or 8th.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't draft I will never draft a quarterback before like the 8th round.
Yeah, like I held out yesterday until I got Burrow fell to like the 12th round. Or
Yeah,
something
I
like
don't
that.
think I've
So
ever
that's
drafted
good
a
value.
quarterback.
Yeah, it
really.
was like the 10th or 11th, and I was like, I'm just gonna take him now.
You
'Cause
know,
I was gonna hold out for Herbert, but he's the goat.
You know who was texting me was Meatloaf was doing a dynasty draft.
Oh,
He was like, yo, who do I pick here? And I was like, all right, your first quarterback. I was like, just go with Anthony Richardson. Just
There you
go
go.
for it. Because
Is he in a superflex league?
I don't know how it works.
Because if he was in a superflex, yeah. But if you're not, it's completely different.
I don't know. It was half point PPR though, so it kind of lowered the standard
Yeah,
for
that's
wide
true.
receivers.
Just remember, there's always gonna be a quarterback that you can grab.
Yeah, in
unless
redraft,
you're in a
for sure.
super flex
If
situation.
you're in a redraft single QB, there's literally no reason. Like you would
Swing on
literally,
the upside.
like Kirk Cousins is always available.
I know. And Kirk Cousins has always been like I think the past like 4 years, it was literally like 12th best quarterback, 12th best quarterback, 12th best.
You're telling me you
like,
can't just draft
18th.
Jared Goff in like the 15th round?
Oh yeah, no, Jared Goff's gonna be good.
Kyler Murray,
Jared
like
Goff is good.
Kyler
Aaron
Murray's a
like-
sleeper.
like if you look at I'm looking at this random like fantasy pros like quarterback ranking. Like Aaron Rodgers is the 20th ranked fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, like you know, Rodgers.
Daniel Jones is 26th. Like I would take a flyer on Daniel Jones over wasting like a good receiver in like the 7th round.
Like
Yeah.
this year, especially, you don't have to really take a quarterback super early because
There's
it's like
so
even
many
if you
good
don't get
quarterbacks
someone,
now.
even if you get somebody really late that doesn't end up playing well, it's like you could go and if Rodgers is healthy and playing well, you can go grab him in like the 3rd week.
So many good quarterbacks.
And also, like last year, let's use Fields for example. Was Fields a good quarterback? No, but he ran every play. So
Yeah.
fantasy wise, you could just be like, bro,
People are
like
taking
he's a
Also,
running
everybody
back.
needs to look out for Fields this year too. There's a high chance that they use him or they use the both of them because I saw an article just before that they don't want to silence the fact that he can run like that.
Yeah, I don't. I've
So-
heard Russ hasn't been too
Yeah,
good in
that's what I
training.
read.
Yeah.
So,
So
mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. Fields is getting a lot of support too. So I think. I
And
wouldn't
it's
be
also like if
surprised
you're the
you see a lot of
Steelers, you'd
Fields.
rather Justin Fields be good than Russell Wilson. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously whoever's good is
younger,
good. but yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah.
You might as
Actually,
well.
I think Russ is technically really cheap now, right?
Oh, really?
I think
Oh,
so,
because the
they cut
Broncos
him,
are
right?
paying their salary or whatever.
I think he's literally like on league min.
Oh, maybe.
Just don't know.
But
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
kind of feel bad for Russ because like
He's so cringy though. Like,
yeah, no, he is, but he kind of just got like thrown around like after he left the
But it's also like
he did it to himself though. He'd be like, wouldn't he get up on the Jets and be like, "All right, team, let's do high knees," and like
Yeah.
make the entire team do it?
he
Like,
went. Remember the huddle, the fake huddle? by
yeah, the
himself?
fake
He's
huddle.
like,
And then remember, have you guys seen the Subway commercial where he was acting out like
Yeah,
his
yeah,
sandwich,
yeah.
and it was like I literally like quivered. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it was
like it
crazy.
was
it's also
bad.
those things only work for anyone if you're winning. No one cares.
Yeah,
if you're winning.
exactly.
As soon as you start losing, everyone's like, I think that guy might be a little weird.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't
just
think I
like,
like
or
him
he
as
just,
much.
that's just meme bait, bro.
yeah, maybe
Just
he
get
wants.
violated by the meme.
He's like, I'm
pages.
gonna promote myself.
Every
by-
time he loses, it's the fucking Subway video.
Facts.
Dude, that just comes back to everything though. Like, if your
I can't
team's
even
winning,
remember. I can't even. What is the verbiage of that fucking that
verbiage
Yeah, like what is the
Verbiage?
What is he saying in that?
Oh, I don't know.
that
I know what
commercial?
you're talking about, but I know what
in
you're
the Subway,
Yeah, he's saying something about
he has like, oh,
the
dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah, he's like the
sandwich.
dangerous
Yeah, is that the
sandwich.
one with like Jeter has the same thing and like there's a few of them?
That's his Instagram though. His Instagram is
Yeah,
dangerous.
Yeah.
Bro. Every time the
Mad cool.
Broncos would lose, it's like Broncos country, and it's like fire in the background.
yeah,
and
that's
shit.
right. And it just get more
It's like-
chaotic
it's
week
like
by week.
Broncos country, let's ride, and then it's like the ride, and it's like a guy like getting into an accident.
yeah, like a head-on collision.
Should we cover like a few of the injuries in camp?
Yeah.
Herbert,
Uh,
DeAndre Hopkins, those two?
Herbert should be good to go by week 1.
Yeah, that's the plan, but I don't know.
DeAndre's out 4 weeks.
It's
Herbert
it's-
is. I mean, Hopkins is out. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks, I think. But it's never good to start your season with a quarterback, even if it's a short-term injury. right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Burrow.
Look
last
up
year.
Burrow. That's what I was about to say. Was that a calf injury last year? Or was that 2 years ago? Burrow got hurt in the preseason. I
Yeah.
remember it was a calf.
And I thought he was like his Achilles, but it
Yeah, but
wasn't.
His wrist.
but
but
then
what
he-
With his calf in the training
what
camp,
kept
though,
him
yeah.
out for the year? The wrist. Yeah.
the rest.
But
Yeah.
it's
And
still
then-
true. Like it's scary to like go into the season not fully knowing.
Well,
what
Well, you would
quarterback's
hope that
gonna
the Chargers will learn from what happened with Burrow last year and just give Herbert a couple
be.
weeks.
Yeah, but it was a different kind of thing.
I also.
what's Herbert's injury?
The wrist, right?
Oh,
Oh, again?
No. Burrow's thing. No, Burrow's not hurt.
Burrow was the wrist.
Yeah, that was last year. We're saying we're comparing it to last year.
Yes.
Herbert's plantar fasciitis thing, right?
Oh yeah, plantar.
Is it the same injury from last year that he's coming off of?
Who, Herbert?
No, I thought
Herbert's just not
Herbert
good
hurt
from that
his
yet.
arm or something or shoulder.
Herbert was. Yeah, that's different. I think it's just that's happens to a lot of people. I think it's like a big.
But
isn't it just like the bottom of your foot?
Yeah, it's
like
when you're in plantar flexion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I don't even think Herbert's really going to do that good in fantasy this year because I think Harbaugh is building his entire offense around the run.
I completely forgot that he was there.
Yeah, I know. Isn't he like a sleeper? And then the whole thing was like the Chargers got rid of Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. They have no wide receivers, and the Giants were sitting right behind them. And I was like, bro, they're going to take a wide receiver. And everyone's like, nah, they're going to go all line. And I was like, there's no way, bro. Their wide receivers suck. And then Harbaugh puts in the pick, and they take
Joe Alt.
Joe Alt. And I was like, bro, what? They're building their team completely on the run.
Slightly surprised. If you like completely thought of like the football team, you think of the run, but then or the coach, you think of the run. But yeah, you look at the roster, it's not.
Dude,
but then again, it's not like they signed Didn't they sign what's his name? Oh, they didn't. No, sorry, I'm going backwards. Austin Eckler is on like Commanders now. J.K. Dobbins is technically their like lead running back.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
That is very interesting.
They drafted that like a kid from.
If J.K. Dobbins can stay healthy, and I drafted him last
year.
night.
Yeah, I draft him every year.
If he can stay, the first week of last year before he got hurt, he popped off.
They did get Ladd McConkey. I forgot about that too.
Oh yeah, I actually like Ladd McConkey.
And J.K. Dobbins did the same rehab with.
Was he in Georgia?
Rodgers.
Yeah. Didn't he get hurt though?
I don't know.
I
think he's. Yeah, actually, I just got a sleeper notification that he's questionable. But I don't know if he's hurt.
I'm pretty sure someone got hurt.
I don't know.
I think it's Ladd McConkey.
I think he did. Something happened, but I don't know if he's like hurt, like injury.
No way. The Chargers have Gus Bus and J.K. Dobbins. Yeah. They just said we'll sign everyone.
Yeah,
off
we were
Baltimore.
like the Ravens.
Yeah, that's.
But
hilarious.
again, there's that
you gotta
Vidal
get running
kid.
backs out of Baltimore, man. You got a running back getting hurt every week over there.
Is that the original?
Before the season starts.
Oh, C.J. Spiller.
But yeah, I think that's. I don't know. That's just a random guy. But yeah, that Vidal kid that they drafted is apparently like maybe pretty good.
So. And then going back to the Chargers, there was a video of Quentin Johnson running, and he dropped the ball, and he's like, bro's already in mid-season form, and he literally slammed his helmet on the ground.
Bro,
I feel bad
for
him.
him. That is the biggest bust in a while.
He was really bad.
That was really
sort of. I mean, he was like a second-round pick, right? So
no,
it
was a
first-round pick.
Not the first overall.
Yeah, it was a first-round pick last year.
Oh yeah, in like the 20s, right?
Yeah, the 20s. Because I remember like Giants fans wanting Quentin Johnson. And I was kind of like, bro, I don't want him at all.
Thankfully, I skipped over him in my dynasty draft.
It honestly would have made sense for him to go to the Giants with how the receivers have been working out.
Nah, bro, he wouldn't be able to. He can't even catch a cold.
Exactly.
That's what everyone says. But
I think he dropped down to like the fourth string.
Yeah, apparently he's like on the roster bubble, which is really bad.
Insane.
No, I think he's the fourth wide receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Josh Palmer.
Joshua Palmer.
Josh Palmer is a good pick him up when you need him for a flex.
Yeah, DJ Chark.
Oh yeah, DJ Chark, Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
And then
I think he'll make the roster.
Will Dissly's a sleeper tight end. He was actually decent on the Seattle Seahawks like 4 years ago before he tore his ACL.
I haven't seen him play football in like 4 years, so I don't know.
But yeah, they're definitely built up their offensive line, which I think is a smart move. I know their wide receivers are god awful.
I mean, I think they have.
But you have Alt and Slater, two really good tackles.
You have your tackles for 10 years.
Yeah,
so
for 10 years. And isn't Zion Johnson pretty good?
I think so.
I think that's a name. That's a name I remember.
Yeah, he's a guard from BC. Yeah, BC.
Boston College. Yeah. I feel like that's.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So,
but their defense is still questionable.
You know what's kind of funny? They have a guard named Willis Patrick. Kind of fun. It's a fun little throwback.
But what do you guys? Any other training camp news? I mean,
the D Hop stuff, 4 to 6 weeks, we kind of quickly went over.
Do you guys have any Jets news?
Yeah, a couple things. Tyron Smith dealing with some tightness of practice, so he sat out.
Here we go.
He sat out. No, he's fine. He sat out today just to.
Thank God they drafted a tackle.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, I guess the OO pick's looking really good right now.
He sat out today, but it's nothing to worry about.
That dude's gonna play 4 games this year.
Nothing on Reddick. Solid today said that he has not heard anything on him yet.
I'm not really stressed out about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's gonna sign the deal, but it's just annoying.
Is that weird that doesn't bother me?
It shouldn't, because it's like compare it to that Aaron Donald situation from a couple years ago.
Chris Jones didn't play week 1
training camp
last year, and I'm not concerned how good Chris Jones is.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Brady
I mean, they won the Super Bowl.
Missed an entire training camp with the Bucks.
I think it's one of those things where,
especially when you're at that point in your career, it's not like
the
only thing is it's a new team, man. So that's kind of why you want.
But it's also like how isn't he just gonna be like pin your ears back and go? Like,
yeah.
So like it's not.
I mean, even Saleh said himself that's the last position he's worrying about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And plus, they have depth there. Like,
he got
Jermaine Johnson. Hopefully, takes another step. Which
I mean, it just opens up the window for Will McDonald as
who
well.
gained weight apparently. I mean, that might be the worst pick I've ever seen. No, that's totally not true.
Will McDonald, the linebacker.
But
I remember
Nick likes Will McDonald.
He's like an edge.
He wants him to show up.
I hope he's good, but they also their team could have been so much better last year if they didn't draft Will McDonald, who literally didn't play.
I also didn't like their pick of Tippmann. You know, Tippmann, the center.
Tippmann's fine.
He was like a second or third round pick.
He was a second pick, but they could have got John Michael Schmitz on the Giants. I was hyped when the Jets didn't pick him. I was like, yes.
It's also like apparently, from what I remember last year and like what I've read, like he looked good last year. He just can't snap right now. Like
apparently he has trouble snapping the ball.
Saleh said it's irrelevant though.
Yeah, I mean,
in today's interview, he said
that's just reps.
Yeah, of course.
But, that's like a thing. I feel like if you can't.
Well, Rodgers was frustrated with the fact that he couldn't snap the ball.
I'm sure.
He said he yelled at him a little bit about that.
But imagine being 41 and like.
Well, I mean, I think at quarterback you're gonna get the most frustration from a bad snap.
Because
obviously
you're the one that gets it. But
and then it can make it. To be honest, bad snap. If the quarterback fumbles it, like everyone watching is gonna get tight at the quarterback, not the guy snapping the ball, or majority of the viewers.
But I'm not worried about Tim. I mean, I'm more worried about Tyron Smith than anything.
If there's anything that's easy to work on, it's getting snapped down, especially as a fucking.
Hopefully that works out.
Apologies for my language.
The other thing I want to talk about is the Giants Hard Knocks finale.
Oh yeah,
it was the fifth. Yeah, it was the fifth episode.
Finale.
Yeah, I mean it was only 5 episodes.
I've seen so many of them.
But I guess I'll do a brief overview because I've kind of done this every video. So the 5th episode was really the draft, everyone they drafted with kind of the analysis. It was interesting. So the Giants accurately predicted the first 5 picks ahead of them. They knew it was going to be quarterback, obviously, and Caleb, and then Jaden Daniels at 2. Drake May, they tried trading up forward. They didn't get him. 4
that would have been a good move.
Yeah. I don't know. Drake May apparently hasn't looked too good in camp.
I know, but I feel like just in general, sorry to like completely go off topic.
No,
but,
it's good.
I feel like it's the weird thing with like, we're so quick not to give quarterbacks time. Like not you, I just mean like in general. Like I feel like so quickly, like because there's nothing to talk about now, like Drake May will throw like a bad pass and everyone be like, oh my God, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just taking the videos of bad passes, especially the quarterbacks.
It's
man. Like
so easy.
Burrow threw one bad pass and he was just.
I know he got flamed.
He got flamed. Yeah.
Like imagine
Burrow heard it in mid-season form.
Imagine your like whole career being like able to be like, oh, it clipped up. This guy sucks, and that's just what everyone thinks about you.
And imagine how many reps at training camp
and they're like
you're trying to compare that one overthrow.
They're all younger than all of us.
Like think about it. Like, imagine when you were 20. Like I can't even do stuff when I'm 25. Like. Imagine like millions of people like watching what you do.
Yeah, you're under a microscope, literally.
It's your first time in front of like that crowd as well. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of pressure on you. You know,
and how much money and time was spent to like people like if you suck, like everyone that drafted you loses their job. Like, like that's pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Most people will never feel like.
And then first round pick, obviously, like all the fans want you in. Yeah. And if
imagine how Zach Wilson feels like with all the different things that happen to him throughout the years that he was with the Jets. You know,
imagine every Jets quarterback that's been drafted, like they're all set up to fail.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I mean, so is Daniel Jones, low key.
All right, but sorry, go back.
So they accurately predicted the picks. Obviously, the Chargers were in question, like I said before. Yeah. The Giants were like, "Oh my God, like, bro, if they take Neighbors."
Who do you think they would have taken if they took Neighbors? Just Rome?
Giants.
Odunze?
Well, they got a couple calls. I think they said I think Rome was probably their next pick.
Yeah, or because the Jets were trying to come up, and who else was it?
Oh, you spoiled I was gonna say, who do you guys think called the Giants?
Yeah,
but
it was. I remember that during draft time they were saying that.
Yeah, so they got to pick 6. Obviously, they were like locked in. They're like, oh, we're getting Neighbors. Like they didn't even. No, I mean, they took calls. The Colts called them to trade up. I don't know what the Colts offered them something. They said it in the episode, but I forget who it was. And then the second team that called, they're like, oh, it's Joe Douglas. And I was like, oh, no. And so I wonder, who would the Jets have taken? Would they have taken Malik Neighbors, you think?
They probably would have, but I think they just wanted one of him or Rome. Like, they really liked Odunze. Like, I think that's who they would have taken. I think if Rome was there and, like, the Bears didn't take him, which I was surprised that they did.
Yeah, why didn't they trade up, though, if they wanted Rome?
I guess they figured you don't have a second because you traded that for Rodgers. So
yeah.
Don't go. Like, it's so funny. Like, I feel like because of how all of us grew up playing Madden, we all view draft differently. Like how like teams do. Like, they would rather take 4 stabs than have one really good one.
Yeah, like
so,
one good prospect.
Yeah, so like, and that's how most people view it. Like if they're like in the draft community, for lack of a better word, like they're like, all right, I'd rather be like, all right, let's draft 3 receivers and see which one's good than get the one that
would potentially be really good. Yeah.
So that's why I think, losing the Rodgers pick doesn't help.
I mean, I think it ended up really well for us. We need the depth at the O-line.
Yeah, it's the smart move. The same thing with like the.
But I think
long term, I think
the
O-line is better,
like, just in case.
Sure. Because
if you're in win now mode, I think the wide receiver, that's why I thought they honestly should have went Bowers.
But I also think like Conklin isn't bad, and like
Conklin's
you also
good,
do have and like you assume Lazard can't get worse.
Yeah.
And like if Rodgers is there, like it worked before. Like he didn't just get trash in general. I think it's just like it worked with him and Rodgers. So like
I mean, also everyone hated each other last year. Like there was a lot of like.
Well, that's been like that for 2 years.
Internal
fighting.
I really think
and that doesn't help anybody's like motivations. And then when
that's
you're a
what
healthy
losing
scratch
does.
as well, it's like I'm sure Lazard started to just give up on the season probably in the first 5 weeks.
And I think they like Brownlee and like Xavier Gibson might get more.
Corley looks good too.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's another one too. Like
apparently Corley looks really good according to Rodgers and Garrett Wilson.
If you have 2 receivers that function, like that's fine.
Yeah, you only
Xavier Gibson looks
and
really good as well.
Braylon Allen looks good. The running back.
Well, going back to the Hard Knocks, but
again,
the one guy that Dable was like, who are the 2 guys? He was talking to Nick Saban, actually, I think it was. He's like, who are the 2 guys in this draft that scare the hell out of you? And he was like, Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers. Those were the 2 that were big problems.
Because they're just matchup problems.
Yeah, they're matchup nightmares.
Bowers is like an athlete at a position that now is an athletic
relevant,
position. Yeah, and Malik Neighbors is just like if everything works out, like
he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, like junior Tyreek Hill or something. Like,
literally.
What would have been going through my mind if I was Joe Douglas though is looking at last year with a healthy Rodgers, like what do you need to plug into that offense?
How many wins did we have last year? 7?
The Jets?
Yeah, the Jets won 8 games, and like in theory, you should win that Chiefs game, which gets you 9, and then like
we won that Chiefs game.
You know what I mean?
Nobody played bad. The refs just robbed us of that.
More or less, you're at 9 wins, and like that was with like 3 NPCs.
Yeah,
like even if Rodgers
like receiver is
quarterback,
like Lazard was terrible, but like that position is never really an issue for us. You had 7 different quarterbacks playing over the past 2 years, and you still have Garrett Wilson getting 1,000 yards 2 years in a row.
Like Garrett Wilson is not. I mean, receiver in theory, it's always a problem because if one person goes down, like if Garrett Wilson gets hurt, you're actually doomed again. But I guess that's just the nature of football too. Like
that's also if your quarterback gets hurt.
But I mean, if the other guys can just get the timing of that offense down with Rodgers, I think you're fine.
I'll say this. I don't think the Devontae Adams trade makes sense, but if something like and Mike Williams, we forgot about that.
Yeah, but he's.
I don't even count Mike Williams
depth chart
because it's like he's obviously good.
He's listed as 5th.
He's obviously good, but like, bro, he gets hurt every single year.
I had this conversation with someone once, and I thought the same thing. If you look at Mike Williams' games played, it's insane how many more he plays than you think. Like games played over his career.
But I feel like he'll have like nagging injuries.
Probably.
Will he'll go into the game
so much about his
questionable?
injuries though is because like you draft him in fantasy. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so. That's why it seems like he's injured so much more than he probably actually is.
Yeah, because the fantasy season is like 4 weeks shorter, so it's like it's like more dire to have them the couple weeks.
Mike Williams' games played over his career: 10, 16, 15, 15, 16, 13, 3 last year.
Yeah.
Like that feels like not true.
I know.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's always just going into games with nagging injuries.
And then 3 times.
And like, no, I've seen him pull a hamstring like 3 times a season. Yeah. The same hamstring, he pulls it.
For all we know, though, he could just be getting hurt coming back 2 weeks later and then small injuries like that, but it affected you in fantasy.
And they signed this
kid,
so that Winstead kid or whatever, apparently, that like people really seem to like. I forgot what the story is behind. What is the story behind this kid? Forgot. I think he's like a big like. He was like a undrafted free agent guy that people seem to really like. So, he looked really good.
But I'll finish up the Hard Knocks. So second round, they went in. They wanted to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. You know, was he safety or corner out of Alabama? Corner.
I think he's like might end up being a safety because I think he's slow.
And then he is slow. And then they wanted Kamari Lassiter. He was on one of the really good teams. I don't remember which one. He might have been Michigan or Georgia. It was one of those.
Georgia.
It was Georgia. They both got drafted, I think, like 3 or 4 picks before. So they pivoted and got Newbin out of, I think it's Minnesota. I know Newbin, he's supposedly pretty good. He has good instincts, but he's not a physical freak of nature. They just needed to fill the hole with McKinney because McKinney obviously left to the Packers. Highest paid safety in the league. Highest paid safety in the league. He is a good player. Highest paid player though.
That's a lot of.
I'd say it's top.
That's like
he's
two
top
pretty
5.
big like losses, like him and Saquon. Like
Yeah, no,
not like running back is a replaceable position in a sense, but it is like a.
It was 2 of the biggest stars on their team, but
Yeah.
they relocated them to the offensive line, which I think is smarter.
That's probably what your 3rd and 4th best players last year.
Who?
Like Dexter Lawrence is first, probably Andrew Thomas, then like
Andrew Thomas is hurt, so
no, but I just mean like not last year, but just overall on your team.
Yeah.
Like, and then probably Saquon's your 3rd best player.
Saquon, then probably McKinney.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they replaced, I guess, McKinney and Saquon with Burns.
Yeah. So like
it's just trade-offs. But I don't know. I just feel like the Giants, obviously they lost Saquon and McKinney, but they traded like 2 luxury pieces for interior people, like offensive and defensive line, which the Giants desperately needed.
Yep.
And I feel like you'll win more games with that.
And they just signed
Schlottman. No,
a guard.
They signed Van Roten from the Raiders.
Used to be a Jet.
And then also they signed another guy. Oh, what's his name? He's probably going to start. He was a solid PFF offensive guard.
Like recently?
Yeah, like literally last week or less than a week ago.
He's a guard?
Yeah. Let's see. Giants depth chart. Because they had, I think, Stinney at guard, and he's not that good.
Yeah, I only know about John Runyon.
They signed Runyon, in free agency. Stinney, Van Roten was one of them.
That's the one I'm thinking.
And then they signed someone else. Who is it?
I mean, hey, Evan Neal's going to get tackle reps still, so.
Yeah. So, Evan Neal?
Yeah.
He's hurt, though.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. I think they're going to move him to guard.
Becton problem. Just draft a giant human being, and then it's like, oh, wonder why he's hurt all the time. I don't know.
That's funny.
Weird. He can't stay healthy because he's like 350 pounds.
Oh, it was Schlottman. That's who I said at first.
Oh, yeah.
He's a decent. He's probably going to start over Stinney, honestly. He was apparently like league average last year.
I think the Giants are. I actually am more confident in the Giants than I think a lot of people.
Yeah, I am too. And I'm usually like last year. I feel like the Giants go opposite of expectations. Last year they were supposed to be really good, 9 wins, terrible. And then 2 years ago they were supposed to be god awful, like 2 wins I saw projections, and they were actually decent.
So yeah.
So this year everyone's down on them. This is our year.
If you told me they won the division, I wouldn't. You wouldn't like that. Wouldn't be the most surprising thing I'd ever hear. That's what I would say.
With the NFC East, bro, it's always just a coin flip. I swear to God,
got to keep going.
It's got to keep going. And then so they got Newbin, and then Theo Johnson, Tyrone Tracy. They're both athletic freak of natures. You take them in the 4th and 5th round. You take the upside.
Yeah.
And
especially at that point, like that is what you get to at that point.
Yeah, you're just swinging on upside.
Yeah,
you get the ball of clay. Hopefully, you can mold it into something good. And Theo Johnson apparently is like he's a freak of nature.
Like that's actually like a pick. I remember when people when he got drafted. Like I just remember reading about that. Like, people were like, "Well, that looks pretty good, actually."
He's gonna be the Waller.
Yeah,
the Waller replacement.
Actually, you know what's funny? I was scrolling Instagram today, and it's like his Instagram came up, and it was him like rapping.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's really bad.
Waller's rap,
bro. Oh yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, not that I'm a rap expert, but I enjoy listening to it.
It was it was bad.
He's making a smart career move, isn't he?
People said he had the worst year out of any human being on earth.
Yeah, he lost like
they said he played with Daniel Jones. He couldn't stay healthy, and then he lost his wife or girlfriend.
No, yeah.
And then he literally made the worst.
Got married.
He made like the worst rap record.
Bro, thought people would care.
Song ever. So that's about it for the recap. The last episode was, in people's opinions, I said the most boring, but I don't know. I just find it interesting.
I love all the
Jets were mentioned.
It's just interesting to see
the
all
Jets were mentioned, so I liked it.
And I agreed with the Giants' philosophy. Like they wanted the corner in the second, they couldn't get him. They weren't just going to reach on a guy.
Exactly.
They filled another area of need and safety with Newbin, and you just gotta. That's the worst thing you can do in the draft. I feel like is just reaching for a position you need because they never end up like I feel like playing up to the potential they were drafted at.
Yeah.
Like I know the one team is like Baltimore. They always just pick the best player available.
Yeah,
like
the center,
they'll pick like the center. They'll pick what's his name, Tucker. They picked him. Like they pick the best special teamers. Like and they're always good. I feel like that's a good philosophy to go by. Like try and find an area of need and then just try and pick the best player you think there. I mean, it sounds good. It obviously sounds easier said than done.
It's funny too because like the Baltimore always drafts well, right? Like and like you're saying, like I think it's just because like it just works. Like they're just like, oh, he's really good at football.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's literally how I think Baltimore views their people.
Yeah. They actually do. They're just like whatever.
Yeah, they're like, all right, this guy. we have really good defensive line. Oh, this guy looks good. He's a good pass rusher. Go get him.
Yeah.
And they find a way. They'll move pieces.
Good athletes, and they're just well run, like from top to bottom.
Yeah, Harbaugh is just. I think he's a great coach.
To transition off of that topic,
we're going to your draft.
We are not going to my draft. We are going to speak about the big news that the NFL released today about the addition of flag football at the 2028 Olympics.
Oh yeah.
I would like to know who you guys would like to see on that 2028
Olympics. Do you want to do like we each go down a list, or do you want to just do like?
Well, you want to do quarterback, wide receiver, running back, or you just want to go get quarterback,
let's figure
you get wide receiver?
Let's do that. We'll all pick a quarterback.
Well, let's figure it's five men. Let's figure it's five men. Center, receivers, quarterback.
I think it's I honestly don't even think we could just do quarterback, 2 wide receivers, and a running back if you want.
So I think we will